Welcome back. Today we're looking at skid plate options for the second gen Tacoma. And here is an Amazon piece. Well, there's a nice bit of noise there. And this is sometimes described as being a stock skid plate. And you can find these in steel or aluminum based on the description. The lowest end ones coming in around $64, and they go up to around $90. So if I would take a look at this one right here, and they have this odd sort of little bracket thing happening, and mine came disassembled, and this is how they're supposed to go on. You can see the bottom part has this long bolt. This actually would replace the bolt you currently have with your skid plate, and it's a bit longer to kind of go through there, and there's this aluminum spacer. And then we have this piece right here which just holds this sort of bracket onto the plate. And at the bottom end down here, your existing bolts that hold the skid plate on at the bottom, those would go in right there. So that's how it starts out. This is the underside here, and you can see it's got this sort of gray powder coat finish. I've seen some Tacomas with this installed, and again, this is not an OEM part, but it looks like it's supposed to be a copy or a knockoff of an OEM part. This one being the cheap part, I found one interesting little problem with it, and that's right here. This little bolt that's supposed to go right here is actually kind of too big for the hole. And maybe I could sort of screw it in. I'm sure I shouldn't have to. So I guess the hole was machined a little bit too small. If I was going to keep this, it wouldn't be too much of a problem. Obviously you could take a drill bit and just drill it out a little bit. It's just a little bit too small to allow this bolt to comfortably fit in, so that it can come out right here. Not quite having it. Anyway, that's a bit of perhaps a sign of problems here. But other than that, it looks pretty solid. So let's take a look and see how it compares to the truck. Now here's the stock skid plate. I mean, not extremely tough and durable. It's kind of a thin steel, but it certainly can do its job. And you might have seen some installation videos about this new skid plate I'm going to show you that show it replacing this. Oddly enough, it's not meant to replace this stock skid plate, if we can call it that, but to actually go over it. So it's like you would have two sort of lightweight skid plates, which I imagine two would be better than one. But let's look for some mounting bolts under here. So here are the ones at the end that you would end up keeping. Got one right here. It looks like I've got some damage to my skid plate right here. So see if I can kind of bang that in a little bit. Anyway, those would be the ones that you would be keeping. And then right up here, we've got the two that would be replaced. So you have one here and one down right there. They get replaced with the longer ones that come with this new skid plate. And then it comes up sort of over here and has those holes in it that you saw, I guess, to access some points, toe points right here. So you can see right there those points, and that's where this skid plate would mount. right about there. We can also see that my existing skid plate looks like I've done a little bit of hard off-roading and maybe ripped it out of the bolt there and got some damage there. So I might have to remove this skid plate or replace it to put this one on. But the idea is that it would go up like that, right about there, and use that existing bolt. Actually, these two existing bolts. So that it would be like that. Now it looks, and so it would come on like that. It looks like I actually can't use this skid plate because of this particular bumper that I have. So I think it's really designed to work with your stock bumper, but with these mounting points here, it's kind of getting in the way right here. So probably a good idea, a nice inexpensive addition if you have a stock bumper, but if you're doing anything aftermarket like this, I think it's not quite going to fit. So we're getting some problems here interfering with these mounting points and just not liking this bumper edge right here, if we can see that. So actually, for a budget skid plate, as far as one extra level of protection, literally on top of your existing one, this one would not be too bad. And there it is at the front, but again, you can see with my bumper, doesn't quite like fitting there. So this could be a good option if you have a stock bumper on your second generation Tacoma. We can see right about here the thickness of it. So it's not really heavy and heavy duty, but it's decent enough, especially in this kind of price range. Anyway, I won't be able to use it on mine, sadly, so I'll look for some other skid plate options, but this might be something for you to consider on your second gen Tacoma, especially for a low price.